Hello, this is Ed Spicer and welcome to www.spicyreads.org. Today we interview Lyn Miller-Lachmann, author of Gringolandia, an amazing book. Lyn Miller-Lachmann, welcome to www.spicyreads.org. You are the author of Gringolandia, a book that I read and loved, and that's why I'm really thrilled to be able to film you talking about Gringolandia. Can you tell our readers a little bit about this book?
Well, first of all, Ed, thank you very much for having me. This is the story of a 17-year-old boy, Daniel Aguilar, who is a refugee from a brutal dictatorship in the country of Chile in South America. And Daniel has fled Chile with his mother and sister after his father was arrested. His father was an underground journalist critical of the dictatorship and was put in prison and tortured. So the family has been living in Wisconsin for 5 years, and suddenly Daniel's father is released and rejoins the family. The book is really about this young man trying to build a relationship with his father when both of them have changed so much.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the father thinks of Wisconsin akin to Disneyland, and I love the aspect that the father was alternately trying to kill himself by drinking himself to death, but mad enough to want to continue fighting the injustice, and frustrated because he was having a difficult time finding anyone to listen to his story. Now, do you have any empathy with him?
Absolutely, and in fact, there is one person in the book who is really devoted to listening to his story, and that happens to be Danielle's girlfriend, Courtney.
Now, it's interesting to me that in doing the background research on your book, I've noticed that we have officially admitted that we helped with the overthrow of Allende. Whether or not we killed Allende or caused his suicide is up to debate. I imagine you're still following the events that happened in Chile, and I'm sure you're aware of the fact that Allende's wife just passed away recently.
Yes. Yes. And basically, I think what most people have kind of agreed on is that Allende did commit suicide in order to avoid being forced into exile. He was like a captain of a ship. He was so devoted to his country that he was going to go down with his country.
Well, his suicide doesn't diminish the fact that our country certainly has nothing to be proud of in how we dealt with Chile.
That is correct, yes. And one of the issues that I think is very contemporary with this book, even though it's a book that takes place in the 1980s in a small country in South America, is that what we do as a country in terms of our foreign policy has implications for us, in the sense that if we support dictatorships and violent governments in other places, that it creates refugees and it creates people who flee to this country.
Now, I love interviewing you because it gives us a chance to talk about something that's very significant and an issue that's often overlooked in our country, but I'm also talking to you because I just love the story.
Well, thank you.
First you have to have a story. I mean, I don't care how significant the issues you bring up. If I don't like the story, I have a hard time doing a video, but I loved your story too, so I have to get that in so people don't think that I'm trying to make them better by reading a good issue book.
Well, thank you. And I really did start with the story. I mean, I did not start the book saying, well, I'm going to write something about U.S. foreign policy. I wrote this book because I worked with Chilean exiles. And in the 1980s, I helped organize concerts of exiled musicians and musicians working underground. One of the musicians, who was kind of a regular, he stayed at our house. When he was forced into exile, he was separated from his 2 children. When his son was 18, he decided that he wanted to live with his father. But father and son had not seen each other for 12 years.
Okay, now in addition to writing, you have a that you wear that has something to do with the multicultural review. Is there anything that you would like to say, other responsibilities?
Yes, I've been editor of Multicultural Review for 15 years.
I love the magazine, I
well,
get
thank
it.
You. And we publish articles and reviews of books and other media on aspects of diversity in the United States and around.
Lyn, thank you so much for appearing on www.spicyreads.org. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk with you today, and thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
That was Lyn Miller-Lachmann, author of Gringolandia. I'm Ed Spicer, and this is www.spicyreads.org. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye.